perspective, they're going to be feeling pretty good about this Into the Breach, right? They've identified, we want to roll the TA here. TA's going to have a good time. So for that reason, I've got to kind of believe that they know what they're doing, especially after what we saw from them last game.
Yeah, I think Viking has a better overall approach of being able to fight constantly rather than last time it felt like they were really dependent on just like one timing. It's like Ravage and Stonegaze fight around Medusa. This one, much better overall aggression rather than just having to be responsive. However, I do think Into the Breach, they've set themselves up with some strong lanes. You know that these 3 picks, this is exactly what VP ran. The Disruptor with the Tiny carry. They had TA in the mid lane. That's exactly what we saw VP go for. The top lane's the only difference, right? We have the Mars and the Hoodwink, which is a bit different, but you can see the purpose. You know, they saw that Centaur, so it's powerful always to get that Mars as that offlane hero to keep them inside so they can't stampede out. So, yeah, I do think that they can match the aggression. I don't think that they can fall too far behind because I think this Sven is a big problem for their lineup.
Well, we'll see, as you say, you know, VP, they have made the carry Tiny work. Let's see if Into the Breach can do so as well. Around the runes.
Aramis
and
gets this
Aramis, yeah, able to grab that before Little Pleb can do anything about it.
He just tosses the tree and completely whips. That's a bit of a funny one, but all right. So lanes, we'll have Disruptor and Tiny versus Earth Spirit and Centaur. So this could be a little bit of a tough one. If you do step out of position too much on this Disruptor, you can just die. And Aramis, this is one of his special heroes for sure. His Earth Spirit is very impressive. Mid, Xantic's done excellent in this matchup several times, and we've always seen, you know, TA versus Puck. It's a classic. TA ends up can dominate the matchup after the first few waves, and especially now with the new way that you do play mid, playing around your small camp. I've seen the way Xantic plays and utilizes it. He's very good at maximizing his farm.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how well Boom can do against him, because as you said, I don't think it's going to be easy at all.
No.
And on this top lane, Tanner, we've seen him actually, you know, honestly, you know, when we have these players that do sort of change the position they're playing in, he's been doing pretty well in the 4 position, you know, coming from a place where, you know, he's much used to the world of playing the mids, the cores. Yeah,
he's definitely a specialist, like I said. But I'm not a huge fan of the 4 Tiny and stuff like that, but he's one of those players, as I was saying. Like, he makes it somehow just work out beautifully. Top, though, this is a tough one. You're playing into Undying, so Sven, he should have a pretty secured lane. As long as Celery doesn't make too many mess-ups while he steps up, as he may have just done so. They're level 2 on the Mars.
Ooh, still got the God's Rebuke. There it is. It's not quite enough, but the right clicks and the rundown will be.
Up.
First blood. And, I mean, so you're saying that's going to be a bit of a problem, right? If Celery starts feeding in this lane, that's going to hurt.
That is absolutely going to hurt. This Blightstone, it does pay off decently, because sure, you see the Warcry coming up, but that little bit of extra minus armor, those few extra hits on it and dying, even though you have a high HP pool, your effective HP actually is not that high when you're not Warcried, especially with something like God's Rebuke. A very good combo with the 2 of them here. And they get the side pull off because of this. So Tanner playing the lane perfect up top. And bottom, looks like they're doing just as well. Fishman was chasing Aramis when he did do the pull behind the wave. And he's got boots to start F2, so the Centaur can't actually close the gap onto him. Yeah, lanes again looking quite nice for the side of Into the Breach. But Sven, Shad, he's able to actually walk in and steal the pullback that we did see that Into the Breach do. So actually ends up working against them as Celery. Ooh, okay, gets the big creep. There you go, Tanner.
I mean, and look at this as well, you know, down bottom, sure, you know, they managed to make the creep waves meet, but so did Little Pleb.
Yes, he
so
did.
At least at this meet, Fishman's getting some XP. Over here at the bottom, this is going to be a whole wave taken away that Viking don't see any of at all.
Yeah, let's see if Fishman tanks the wave. He will. So he's keeping the wave outside of the tower range as long as possible. He doesn't see the Earth Spirit. Okay, now he sees the Earth Spirit, so he knows he's not under any pressure here of being rolled under and maybe potentially kicked out of position even more so. Holding the full wave, they get the toss back onto Kezu under tower. Still only level 1 on Fishman, though. Did they get him, though, with the tree? It's EXS salves.
I mean,
he still might die.
That's a salve gone, so...
Fishman might be able to get him.
He should be able to TP, though, Kezu.
He should, but that means he's forced out. Aramis, though, they did see him rotating in. Can Aramis get the connection on Fishman? Oh.
Another Thunderstrike in Kezu.
He's gonna hit him.
Kezu back in range.
Oh. The regen's enough. Kezu will be okay.
I mean, still, no, he wants to stick around lane. He's just got the Ring of Health out, but he's so low, so it's going to take him a little bit of time here until he's actually going to feel confident stepping up to the wave here against Little Pleb.
Look at how low he drops. 4. I think it took to 3 HP for a second, right? 3 or 4?
Oh, no, it didn't.
No, it's 4. Okay.
4.
4, though. Barely survives versus this. And Fishman was about to hit 2 off of that. just, yeah, great stuff again from Into the Breach in
Top.
this laning.
Aramis, he's looking to get involved here. We'll get the roll in onto Malik. Malik, he might look for a neutral deny. He's not actually going to be able to get the chance to do so. Celery's able to nuke him down. Aramis able to find a place to get involved and try and get something swinging back the way of Viking.
Does feel like he has to. I think this bottom lane's over. Kezu, you're just going to have to make with what you can. You got your ring of health picked up, but as for you guys pressuring the Tiny at this point, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, eyes on Aramis to be very active around the map. He's got an urn already finished too, which is very nice, especially versus a Templar Assassin. So he could look to make some setups with the coil. Coil into a kick, into an urn. Could potentially put some aggression. And we did see, of course, on the left side there, the Undying did get a block onto the Ancient. So we will see the prevention from that.
Chad?
Chad's dropping low.
He's going to be able to get out. See if Aramis can bring down Tanner. As Tanner should die here.
Nope,
or maybe not.
okay.
No, another tree control. Tanner,
and the double
he's just baiting them in.
Oh my. The double grab too. The hoodwink kind of like mini vacuum with the bushwhack into the spear back into tower range too. Dude, Into the Breach. They're not messing around today.
Absolutely not. And as you say, as we saw at the same time down bottom, Kezi just continuing to have massive struggles in this lane. And I think that is going to be a problem. I think one of the reasons Viking were able to have any sort of fight last game whilst being so far down was because Kezu had some farm. This time around, Kezu, he's going to get nothing out of this early game. He's what, level 3, 8 CS. It's going to be so hard for him to come back.
It is. The connect is there from Aramis. He's got the slow. Should be able to get at least one. So now he's got an urn charge on top too. We'll be able to push Lil Pleb away a bit here, but won't be able to get the kill. Is he bringing some regen? He is. They've got a salve coming on the courier. Might die though. Aramis, he's got the ward down. He's looking for it.
I mean, Lil Pleb, he's dancing around it pretty riskily.
Might go. He might just be able to connect. He does. Oh, bit off the mark there. Tried to kick him into the Centaur Stomp, but won't be able to.
I mean, that was close.
It was very close.
But indeed, Little Pleb, he is able to live through that attempt from Aramis.
And
I mean, when that sort of move comes in as well, will they know there's a ward looking under the tower?
I don't think so. It was very sneaky from the way Aramis did it. But now they're back to pressuring. Look, Kezu steps up. They've refilled Lil Pleb, but now the rotation. Puck's here.
Yeah, Little Pleb should die for this one.
Oh, thank you, Boom says to Fishman for sending him back to the mid lane.
Maybe they could get Fishman as well. Aramis finds the connection in the trees.
Gets the slow. Yeah, Fishman's dead. Kezu's back.
All right.
And he secures himself his Vanguard. That's the whole Vanguard finish. So 13 CS, but look at that net worth. It's pretty decent.
I mean, honestly, Aramis in this early game, he's solving all the problems really here for Viking. Without these Earth Spirit movements, these lanes would still be crumbling for Vikings, especially this bottom one.
Yeah, as we said, this is one of those specialist heroes. He's super good on this Earth Spirit every time he does play it, especially for these early aggressions. But we do see mid. This is what happens. It's the TA versus Puck. You have to leave the lane at some point as a Puck. It becomes pretty problematic. And it's Xantic, as we said, utilizing that small camp. I know T was a big one of saying how he wants to see teams actually blocking the small camp when you are playing versus these like TAs, Sankings, even like Kunkas and stuff like that that utilize it so well. It's definitely an interesting choice because, you know, they block the Ancients out, but then a Sentry comes, it dewards it, and now Ancients are available anyway at a pretty perfect timing anyway for the TA. So Xantic will be extremely farmed this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, as you'd expect as well, right? This is the effects of picking TA as that last pick.
Celery might just go down here. Easy kill. They forced the Sven out of the lane to jungle. Shad, he's going for a Midas. He's going a bit greedy on the Sven.
I mean, we've seen some of the top players in the world go for the Midas Sven. They do like it.
This is a tanky Tiny. Nice kick. Aramis making all the plays for his team.
But yeah, it's you know, we're seeing what like ILTW. I mean, quite a lot of Svens are doing the Midas build up. Pretty much one of the only carries that you seem to get away with it.
I'm okay with it most games, but I gotta be a little honest. Like, I feel like you do want to be able to fight with your team early because TA is gonna force a Roche. So if you go for this Midas build, I feel like fighting around the Roche might be a little bit more difficult rather than going for like your Echo Saber route, being able to join in early on. So we'll see if it does pay off, but I do think it could be a bit of a concern with how fast Into the Breach is playing today. Centaur tossback, might just got killed. Fishman killed. He did.
Oh no, you hate to see it, but you love to see it. Yeah, that. Oh no.
Oh man.
Poor old Fishman.
Yep. And boom, again, down here. No coil available this time. I don't know if they have the damage to go for a little, but this is a very tanky Tiny. 20 armor, 1600 HP. I think you need coil. You need to break coil.
It's
You
not
need
happening.
absolutely everything to kill him. So yeah, won't be able to do so until they do have that coil available. Quick plays all around.
Just continue to put the pressure on this tier 1. They'll take it. Tower goes down, but there we have it.
He knows too.
Yeah,
like he absolutely
yeah,
knows he's dead. It's just like, oh, as soon as you see the centaur flying, it's just, oh. Not even a smile.
Kezi. No, he's fully focused. I mean, they dropped game 1. As we saw, you know, this team, this squad, they expect a clean sweep here in the whole of the lower division, and especially after how good that game 1 looked for Into the Breach. There's not going to be any messing around here in game 2 for Viking.
No,
they're
definitely
going to be fully focused here to turn this one around.
Kezu is very much so under the gun. As kitty distraction for a second there. Looks like he's a little bit bothered. He's got his hood though, so was mentioning how he was going to go for the Vanguard.
He did that as well when he was hitting 4 HP, of course. That was absolutely at the same time. That was how Chili was just like, I'm not dead. Yes.
Easy. Calculated.
Yes.
But yeah, goes hood this game. So versus that tiny burst will be very appropriate. However, not having Vanguard versus some of this physical damage that's going to be coming out from TA plus the Mars will be prevented from going for that. But he does get put negative anyway, so Vanguard isn't really that effective anyway, right? Because it is calculated with that armor in mind. And so they're going to try again. Imagine the puck is going to rotate down here. Can they actually go for him, though?
Let's see if they've got the burst this time. Tanner with the counterplay. He's got Avalanche up in a second,
He's
but the
so
silence
tanky.
is in. They've got to start running.
He's got a stick.
Boom.
He's not topping it. He didn't pop his stick. He has 13 one charges. Low pleb.
He could have got the kill.
He absolutely could have. He could have survived.
And have the arena down, though. Malik, he's caught the 2 of them. Boom. Will go down.
There's a sharpshooter. Off the mark.
Off the mark here. The tombstone down, so Malik probably will die for this. Does get the spear off, but a little bit of a mess this time around from Into the Breach. Definitely could have been a whole lot cleaner, that.
Yeah, he didn't. I was like, oh, he's baiting them. He's really baiting them. He's really... Oh, he's dead. Okay, whoopsie. He had the raindrop, too. I liked his early game choices for the items on the Tiny, too. The Soul Ring, the Treads, all this early game the HP pool so you can survive the burst of the puck and that Earth Spirit, but a bit of a slip up there from the Tiny. Maybe he could have gotten himself like a bunch more kills, too, if he does survive all that. Like the Mars and the Hoodwink die afterwards because they chase forward for extra kills. And they're Tiny. Normally, if he popped stick, he would have been alive there. So yeah, definite slip up there. Vikings got to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We'll see a little bit of armor built up on Kezu if he does go for these phase boots. Might feel like he needs to because he is versus this TA who pretty much has the Deso online, max meld. They're gonna need every little bit. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
And he can force the Roche. That's the thing is too. It's like Deso's online.
Do you just go pit now?
Has Midas. I think you can probably go in there pretty soon because you can solo it as these TAs.
Bottom lane. I mean, they're fighting a lot down here. This might not have been the best place on the map in the laning stage.
And Fishman.
But ever since, this has definitely become an area where I think Into the Breach probably shouldn't be headed anymore.
I agree. Too much team fight. And they're utilizing this coil plus kickback every single time perfectly. It's Antic. Let's try to pressure mid a bit here with this Deso. He hits hard. Even though it's into that war cry, he is still hitting him decently.
It really wants the tower.
He'll get it.
And they're not going to be able to get it. The denies in from Shad. Zantic is actually going to try and fight Celery. Celery comes in. We'll be able to get the heal off in time. Over to the side. Fishman to fall. As Malik, he's got Arena. He's trying to step in. Civ guys with the sharpshoot snipe there. Catches Celery. Tanner's able to find the angle.
Aramis does get the kill on the Disruptor, but will pay with his life this time.
Oh, boom.
Oh, and his courier. And a boom. Ooh. There's a trap.
Got a trap for him. Malik's still got Arena. As he's laid it down, he's caught him. All right, Into the Breach back on track with just playing these skirmishes out a little better than Viking. As Viking, of course, as you said, this stage, especially with the God Strength down, not a whole lot Shad can do. Shad has to play this purely passively.
And he's got Midas, so he can't fight.
Yeah.
It's so much harder for you to turn up as they've got Medallion, they've got the double meld. Look at this Roche go. It's going to die in no time. Another meld. Nice. Look at that minus armor. Minus 30 up on the Roche right now. Melds are starting to wear off, but either way, it just gets brought down way too quick for them to contest. He's Into the Breach again. Just picking up the pace. Lil Pleb has Blink Dagger as well, too, joining Malik up top. Kezu The blink, it just arrives,
Ooh.
and they get him.
He's able to get in. Puts a stop to the TP as Kezu, no stampede for 10. He'll try and get out with a hoof stomp.
Oh, range creep will block it. Spear off the mark.
Oh, missing everything.
They don't see
here.
him.
Oh, they do now.
Oh, they do now.
They got him. There we go, Malik. He'll claim the kill.
Dude, they are so on point today. Like, Lil Pleb, it's the little things, too. He actually runs back to the right to get closer to his courier so he gets the blink so that he can actually blink into range to get into range to stop Kezu. This is really good stuff from them. And Viking, as we said, they've got a bit more of the greed approach for Shad. So he is still very farmed on this Sven. Midas, Echo Saber, he's got, of course, that Possessed Mask that we didn't talk about either. So he will be really strong because he's the higher level than this Templar Assassin, but the rest of the team definitely going to struggle.
Well, it feels like, even though it seemed like off the back of the draft, you were kind of excited to see a different dynamic from Viking, them sort of having 3 cores that were ready to brawl together. But with the Midas and the way things are playing out, it looks like it's just sort of falling into the same pattern as Game 1, where it's just going to be all on Shad to carry.
Yep. They do have these good plays always that they can make, at least with like Boom and with Aramis, with that like coil breaking and whatnot that they have done early on. But yeah, it does feel like they're going to be suffering a bit in the team fight department versus Into the Breach. Some of their heroes are just quite countered. Disruptor versus Puck can be pretty tough, especially once the Disruptor starts getting the ball rolling.
They're coming in for the defense here. They don't want to be losing a tier 2 tower here at 14 minutes in. Little
They're all in the area. Little Pleb
going to jump in aggressively. He'll tank the Dream Coil. See them coming in for the side. The Static Storm's down. Glimpse as well onto Kezu. Gets him back into the arena. Boom's jumping in to burst down Fishman. As Fishman will fall, they get the stun out onto Tiny. As they've taken out 2, they've found 3. Viking this time round, no struggles of taking the team fight. As Into the Breach going super aggressively behind the tier 2 tower. They'll have the silence to set up on the Zantic after the Aegis respawn. They see him, they've got sentry wards down, 4 dead. As Into the Breach, for all the good fights they've decided to take this series, that was by far the worst. They're deciding to jump in behind that tier 2.
Yeah, it's too difficult to land the Static Storm combo nicely too. Kezu just pops Stampede, they all run out of Static Storm, and then it looks disastrous as all of them have to turn and hit Tombstone, but they have to commit so much under it just to kill a Tomb that they're all trapped by Tombstone slow, Magnetize, everything spreading perfectly. Viking, strike back.
Well, they do indeed. They're going to be very happy with that one, especially with the fact that Shab was able to get involved, get a bit of a cleanup going in his favor. Echo Saber well on the way to the BKB. And well, once that BKB is out, even though they do have a lot of minus armor, it's not going to be easy to fight. In the mid, Aramis will get caught here by the 3 of them.
And sniped down to finish. Yeah, they have to be a little more careful how they do fight around Tombstone, right? That's going to be one of their biggest demises inside of the game, as they can't just effectively kill it off that quickly. So those type of dives, you're playing into Vikings' hands. Now, though, still looking to pressure the tier 2, still playing at that very fast pace. They don't let up. Even though they made a mistake, I'm glad to see that they do this. They're just like, nope, we know how strong we are. We know how aggressive we can still play into this draft that is very cooldown reliant to fight around both the Puck, Coil, Stampede, and pretty much a Tombstone. They need those spells on the side of Viking to fight this fast-paced draft. So Into the Breach still in a good spot, but Sven, top of the board now.
Oh, the ult's back up here for Into the Breach. They'll try and get a jump with the smoke.
They want to invade that ancient area, just like they did last time versus the Medusa.
Or who can they find? Shad or Celery, they find Shad. They've got the glimpse back into the stun. They've caught Shad, and they'll have no trouble taking him out there. A very nice smoke movement from Into the Breach after they take the outpost.
And swinging immediately toward the bottom tower. It looks like Little Pleb was the one, at the very least, pinging it, but their tier 2 is actually getting hit from Boom for now. Now they don't have the ward down there. Shad's actually pinging on the bottom right side if they do have a ward on top of him, but they will be able to move in, take the Ancients. And Solar Crest already finished too, Tanner. So all this minus armor, all this buff up, it's gonna be there for Into the Breach.
Oh, Tanner, good attempt there as well. Tries to get back to maybe catch Boom as Boom TP's out, but Boom quick enough to get out of there before Tanner can react.
Look at how they're swooping around the map together. Into the Breach continue to play this very aggressive movements. They've got a Philly Stone as well. We see Fishman does pick that one up. More neutral items to be picked up as well for Into the Breach, as they've got ward coverage. So a trap and a ward around the Ancient side, and then they're farming the enemy jungle here. So it's excellent planning coming up from them again, as Shad is struggling to find some places to farm, but he's close to his BKB, which will give him a lot better fighting chance here to not get chain stunned and die.
And Fishman's on the hunt, seeing what he can glimpse, maybe.
They've got this vision still. The Sentry ward, it does not find their Obs ward. Very important.
They're going to have a boom. He's going to go for the jump. Straight away in with the Dream Core, catches Fishman and catches out Lil Pleb. It's Lil Pleb, and they'll let him go here. The rest of Into the Breach don't want to have any part in this fight, as they'll start retreating. The quick jump pays off here from Viking.
Playing Tiny Core versus Undying feels like when you're playing like this Tiny Core versus Phoenix. It sometimes just gets so terrible to actually fight inside. As Aramis finds another connect. With the follow-up.
Put the Stampede to chasing on to Tanner. In with the blink. They'll set up for another triple kill for Boom.
Very nice. The blink reveal from the puck perfectly catches. And now Shad, that's his BKB. So Sven in a more comfortable position to just fight.
And what's the build-in for Xantic now after he's got his sort of 3 core items? And is this a game where, does he need the BKB or can he skip it this game?
Does feel like he probably needs it. The thing is, it's into the Tombstone, but he still needs it. The puck and the Earth Spirit, it's too devastating. And then you can actually protect your refraction a lot easier because you won't have to worry about magnetize. As they do want to play around like second Roche timing as well for Into the Breach, so you should get a free shard. Celery, a freebie.
I mean, and so now with that BKB on Shad, are Viking going to look aggressively for action, or can they just sort of still play the passive game then?
I think you can chill. I think now you're at a point where you're much more comfortable. Yeah. It's up to Into the Breach really to force the issue here versus the Sven lineup. The Sven will be the hardest carry. I say that, but I've seen these TAs also impress in a lot as later skate. Like, these talents just get so ridiculous. The 25 talent in particular, like, everyone talks about the Melted Bash now. Plus 8 refraction, like absolutely absurd in the late game if you do get to that point. And yeah, he's queued up the BKB, as we said. They want to play around second Roche timing, so he'll get a shard for free. Or should get a shard for free, I should say.
Aramis, he's going to look to roll in on this.
Silence.
Got the coil down. The Static Storm's going to be thrown out, but that's the... Oh, this moves Tanner! He gets the 3-man stun off. Drops the tree. Boom's got to jump out, but now Shad's ready for the cleanup. Shad in with the God Stroke, straight onto Xantic, brings down the TA, turns over towards Malik. Double kill for Shad. And you get Little Pleb as well. Little Pleb found inside the pit. As Shad has no struggle staying on top of him. Little Pleb will be able to toss him out. But all in all, that ends up just giving more here for the side of Viking, as Viking get the team wipe. Shad indeed seeming to be a big problem right now.
Yeah, and Aramis, what an initiation. The 3-man silence comes out perfectly to cover them so that they cannot actually spear anybody to the wall initially. The Mars just completely countered. They even tried static storming on like the right side there, but again, Stampede, they walk right through it. They're able to get their spell connections to follow up on Aramis. Great initiation. Look at this, the silence on all 3. Mars is standing there like, uh-oh. I got my ult down, but then I'm immediately controlled from the follow-up from the puck, and he gets nothing off. Even though they do get that nice bushwhack, it wasn't quite enough. As Shad comes in for the cleanup. Dream for the Sven. Showing up, not even having to use your BKB.
Cleaning up. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty big stuff here for Shad. 4, 1, and 5. He's kept it safe, kept it clean. It's looking good.
It's looking good for sure.
Him.
As we're really seeing, you know, that need of BKB on the side of Into the Breach, just Aramis and the puck, boom. Too much control for them to deal with until they do have some sorts of magic immunity. So I see all 3 cores have queued it up. They know how important it is in the upcoming few situations. And Viking, no, it's all about Chad. Stick around him, Celery just has to follow him pretty much for the rest of the game, just solar cresting him. And Aramis just has to keep doing what he's been doing. I love that he went for Ghost Scepter too. I think he's recognizing that the magic damage is a bit limited on the side of Into the Breach. So if he just gets his initiation up, pops Ghost Scepter, very likely to just survive because he is so tanky. 2,000 HP on this Earth Spirit.
A whole load of tanky heroes.
Yep.
They've got to start hitting some big team fight combos. We've seen sort of the pressure, you know, on this Disruptor. It's been very hard really for Fishman to find the Static Storm because he's normally having to throw it out at the start of the fight because they're doing a good job of Viking of of finding the Disruptor first.
Yeah, they get right on top of him. The beauty of Stampede versus Disruptor. When Disruptor's able to play really aggressively, you usually tend to get these static storms off nicely, but if Viking gets initiations, he kind of just has to throw it out. As it's Antic. Oh my.
That was rather close there.
Easy, he says, claps it away.
That was... couldn't have been much closer to that, Xantic.
So it looks like Malik, I think he's accepting the fact that he probably won't get the space to get a BKB on this Mars. He's queued up Vlad's for now. I think that's actually quite appropriate. Depending on the situation of the fights, I don't think he can actually absorb too much of the map of farm. The TA and the Tiny absolutely need BKB, and he's not as important. He's that off lane, so I think he can give them that little bit more space to farm. Still could go for it eventually, but do like if he stops absorbing too much space so that these two can get it, because they're crucial. As Roche will be respawning about 15 seconds, Viking preparing the area. They know they can force this fight around there. And into the breach without BKBs, I don't think that they can fight. Yeah, it's going to be way too hard.
These BKBs just not coming soon enough.
No.
No, there's just no chance. I think into the breach there, they have to let it go.
I think they
not
will probably
not a fight
have
to be had here.
Yeah. Especially with like into Undying, the Tombstone. It's going to die so quick too. Like if he wants it, I think Celery could even pop Flesh Golem to kill it if he sees them coming near. He's just going to do it anyway, so.
Yeah.
Amp up
Speed
with
it
Flesh
up.
Golem, with Solar Crest. It'll die super fast.
There we go, and Shard. Who's that going to go the way off?
You can give it to anybody. You can give it to any either the Puck or the Sven. Feels like. Actually, giving it to Kezu. Okay, I'm a huge fan of this, but I've never seen pros actually liking it so much. But
yeah, sort of prioritizing.
Yeah,
it, yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
It's very strong. You're able to be this insanely tanky frontline if you do get like 2 or 3 double edges off. I thought perhaps they do just give it to Shad for the stuns, just because it reduces the cooldown. It is very nice also versus any type of like Ghost Scepters and stuff that will be coming out. But nope, they go for the Kezu. I've actually talked to Kezu a bunch about this shard. He's a big fan of the Centaur shard as well.
Oh, he loves the Centaur, doesn't he, Kezu?
75% extra strength if you do get the 5 off. So it is quite ridiculous if you are able to get that constant chase forward going off.
That's bottom little pleb.
He is found.
He's trying to push out alone. He's still not quite got the BKB done. Halfway on the road to the recipe.
He's behind his Mars.
He's managed to find his. But it's not been easy for little pleb this game. I mean, I guess this is definitely the downsides of the carry Tiny, right? That if you don't just keep that momentum going, you are going to feel a bit of a fall off.
Absolutely. He's been found so many times. I'm not feeling the impact from him at all. Well, actually, could we see his damage numbers? I do feel like it's a bit limited on the Tiny this time around, what he's been able to accomplish, because it's always him getting gone on. Like, he's getting coiled and kicked out of the coil, and he's just trapped. So it does feel like he's just had a really tough one for himself.
Time to smoke it.
Could they actually catch him off guard? They did force people back, so they do see the Puck top right now. And they do, I believe... They had seen somebody bottom, so looking to swing. And they have that ward, so they do see the Sven.
They saw Shad.
They see
Shad.
Shad.
They saw Shad. Ideally for them, they want to try and catch him before he reaches the rest of the team, but
oh, yeah,
I think Shad might be quick enough.
They didn't give him the Aegis. It's actually important to point out, Shad. They gave it to the Puck instead. Because Sven, he's very reliant on his 1 life with the God Strength, but...
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And, he's got ways to protect himself, of course, Boom with his, but he's not got any defensive items.
Ooh, Celery.
Does that make the jump?
Quick
Take Celery out of Star Shad.
Xantic?
He's in onto a Xantic. Xantic is getting chain stunned here. They get the arena down. Xantic with the BKB will back off. Shad able to stay on target here with the Stampede, but actually going to look for Little Pleb instead. So Xantic will manage to get out. Static Storm's going to be dropped down, and Shad, the BKB has come to an end.
They're on Shad.
Now they're going to turn. Xantic's going to get it, but Kezu's in with the stop. He's able to get the stun out of the 2 of them. Xantic's still able to jump up, but Xantic's in. Takes down the Sven. As they've got the big one. Boom, he's got to run now. They're looking towards Xantic, but Kezu hasn't got enough damage on his own to take down the TA, so Xantic's fine.
Malik
Malik?
trying to get a grab.
I mean, Kezu's got the cheese.
Look at his
They're
health.
trying to bring down Malik. He's got the spear. Can he get away for the blink? Sharpshooter coming out from Tanner. Can he land the hit? He can't. So they still get in. They take down Malik.
Look at Kezu go with the shard, though. 4,160 HP, 5 stacks up. He's got a Shivas, too. He's the carry now.
Right, he's so hard to kill. 8, 3, and 13. Incredibly tanky. good start to the fight there for Into the Breach, and maybe one of those situations where we would have preferred the Sven to have that Aegis, as he was kind of the first to die.
Yeah. They didn't even go for boom. They just completely ignored the puck. They're like, whatever, puck's gonna get all these spells off, but who cares? The Sven is that main focus target. So yeah, definitely recognizing which targets to go for. And imagine if this Tiny was having a bit of a better game. That could have just been a complete wipe. If Into the Breach was able to get it better. This Tiny just is getting targeted, is very far behind in the game. Almost has BKB though. Zantic holding his own though. We did see that level 20 talent also coming into play. I believe he dispelled like Magnetize or something else off of him too so that he can stick around. And Tanner, we got the Ags. So we've got the nice boomerang, nice big burst of damage. Also that status resistant magic reduction is quite nice. He's able to connect it. Little pleb. That's a Kaya Sange puck. Can't quite go for that. He's also got Pupil's Gift. Look how tanky this puck is. But I do believe that is going to be the BKB done. So a bit safer now on Lil Pleb if he doesn't get straight initiated on. He's tanky. And he's got the Titan Sliver too to point out, so.
Kezu. He's able to get in. He finds Fishman. Look at the spear off Fishman. He's going to drop the Static Storm. Shad's ready to get in with the God Strength. Looking over towards Malik. They'll get the glimpse of on the Shad, but Shad pots the BKB to stand his ground. Commits in onto Malik. Malik getting taken down by the overbearing damage here from the God Strip Sven. And over to the side, another jump from Kezu. Another catch on Satana. Kezu setting up some big things here for the team. It looks like with Zantic, they're not going to start diving tier 3s quite yet.
Oh, stops the TP.
Yep. But these fights are looking tough. Kezu
They are looking quite hard.
You got to remember as well, the start that Kezu had, he's having a miserable time in that bottom lane, but all a distant memory now for Kezu as he is having fantastic impact.
Yeah,
at this stage.
Love the itemization too. I think Shiva's was perfect this game. He needed some type of armor, the slow too, to catch up with his Since he took the shard too, it just makes it that much better as he can constantly chase forward and get even more double edges off. Gets a little bit of lucky RNG as well, of course, the Cloak of Flames. Super effective versus a hero like TA. So set up bottom. But Viking, I do believe they still have a ward on the high ground here, so they are playing around vision. Lil Pleb, he's gonna walk right into him. Throws a tree for vision.
And there's the jump again, Kezu! Is it with the two-man O-Stomp? He catches the two cores. They will get the BKB off. Now turns towards Aramis, but Aramis is out with the Ghost Scepter. Fishman getting jumped to on the back lines. Boom's able to bring him down with the damage of the Witchblade. And now they're having to back off. They've got the Dream Core down. Lil Pleb kicked off to the side. And with the BKB already used, he's got nothing to save it. As Viking, they'll take down the Tiny.
Ooh, Lil Pleb he's not having a game at all. We saw in the beginning, like you said, Kezu wasn't really having that good start there, but now it's turned the other way completely. This Tiny really has no game whatsoever. He's behind his Mars the whole game in farm. Viking. All this armor too. Look at Kezu. 62 armor when he's Warcried, as we did see that talent picked up, of course.
They get the kickback on Malik.
Oh, and they say, yeah, he's dead.
He's in, sets up. Malik does have buyback.
He hasn't spent any of his gold, too. He was sitting on 3,000 plus for 2 fights in a row on this Mars.
Wait, what? Ooh.
Yeah. He really wants to go for a big item. He had BKB queued up, then he queued up Vlad's, now he's queued up AC. But Viking's playing too fast, not giving them the
Shad.
space. Glimpse.
He's has to put the BKB here. Yeah. They were about to glimpse him under the tier 4s. Now, Zantic, what can he do? He's getting quite a bit of damage out onto Kezu, but Kezu's still just so tanky. Well, 50-something armor there with all the buffs.
Yeah, when he's Solar Crested, I think he's what? He's 62 plus 6, so he's 68 armor if he's Warcried and Solar Crested, I believe. That's a lot of armor. Oh, and he has an AC aura, actually, so even more. I think he's actually sitting even higher than that. Pretty crazy.
He's gonna have the evasion on top of that as well. I mean, at least for Zantic, he was recognizing this and he is itemizing for the Monkey King bar, but still, that. Good luck to the rest of the team trying to get any damage done to the Centaur.
Yeah. Halberd, so effective versus TA too, and I think they know, right? It's only TA is their problem. This Tiny is effectively out of the game. They've done such a good job of targeting him. Aramis in particular, he's definitely the one that he's absolute MVP for me this game. 10, 5, and 23. He's 33 of the 35 kills he's been involved in. He's the one initiating. He's the one breaking coils. Yeah, it's excellent stuff from Aramis this time around.
For sure. Yeah, I think game 1, Malik made the case for the Pango to get taken away, and this game 2, Aramis is just reminding us why you really have to have the Earth Spirit in the back of your minds when you're playing against Viking.
Definitely.
It's all parts of the game. Aramis has just been a huge thorn in the side of Into the Breach.
Those Earth Spirit players, man, they know their stuff. He's the one who's like Kezu would not be at this point at all if it wasn't for Aramis.
Nice.
Like some good plays from Kezu, of course, with some of these stuns, but yeah, Aramis, the enabler, has set him up for some beautiful successes. 13k gold lead, and game is hard for TA. They're even feeding Xantic Tomes. They're like, get that 25, get that refractions charges up. It's getting close, but it really does feel like it's him versus the world, and it's not easy when you're playing it to just everyone countering you. Like you said, Scotty on the Sven, they've got the Warcry talent, they've got this incredibly farmed Centaur with a Halberd too. Everything is targeted just to make Xantic's game be just impossible now at this point.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not quite 25 off that tome, of course, only gets him a little bit more than halfway through. If he gets a couple kills inside the fight, though, he will, and they're looking. Do they have the Ags on the Disruptor yet? Not quite. Actually, very close. I actually want them to finish that first before they look for this type of play, but they have so much gold actually still saved up. Yeah, 2,800 on the Mars, too, saving for buyback around Roche. Picks up a plate mail. But yeah, 2,600 on your Disruptor. You do always have to factor that in. This AoE control that can come out from a Disruptor is quite irreplaceable. So I really do want to see Fishman just go farm it up. Get that Ags online before next fight.
And who's the sort of the big catch with that? Is it just the Sven, just trying to lock down his BKB potential?
Yeah, you can just prevent pretty much everything from him there. If he can't get Warcry off, can't get BKB off, he's actually able to get focus fired from everybody on the side of Into the Breach. It's not easy.
There we go, this creep wave.
And he's farming it. Yeah, they're giving it to him.
They're letting him have it.
Yeah, I actually think this is a better approach. I like that they smoked out to at least get vision. I guess that's what the purpose of it was. They did get a ward and a sentry around the Roche pit. But yeah, this is the most important thing for them right now, at the very least.
And he's got it.
Yep.
So there we have it.
And TA is about to hit 25 as well. So these two things could be the thing to turn the tide. However, Roche respawns there, and it's going to be the refresher. Shad, likely, he could still pick it up. I could see it on him or on the puck.
Yeah, I think Shad probably takes it because, you know, we see with these fans, they love to have the 2 rounds of the BKB and the God Strength,
Yeah, I think he's the more appropriate one.
Yeah.
Who's got the cheese? Is it Kezu again? Yeah, it's Kezu. I think Celery and Earth Spirit both are
they're
very
smoking
covered.
out here into the breach.
They got a timing, right? They got these items. Not 25 yet on
Sure,
TA.
but there's...
Very close. See what they can do.
What? Taking him back. They've got the Static Storm down. Shad.
He's gone.
They got him.
He is dead.
They've got it. He's out for 100. And now going for another. They're going to look towards Celery. Celery. He's got the back of the Dream Cop, but this arena down. Celery's going to fall. Xantic, what more can he do? His refraction has worn off. He's trying to fight into Aramis. The 3 of Viking, they're doing a pretty good job of fighting back. They bring down the TA. Tana revving up a big shot there straight into the face of Aramis. Little Pleb still somehow alive. Boom's going to try and chase in on this. The Avalanche will hold them back. Little Pleb still living.
He's going down.
They will get him. Kezu, not quite able to find Tana. But a 3 for 3.
It's a big hit.
It is. And we saw, you know, just holding on to that BKB, he didn't want to put the BKB to stop the glimpse.
He didn't know.
And yeah, didn't expect this Ags.
Yeah.
That Ags just stopping Shad, as you say, literally catching him in that part of the fight where he wasn't able to get off a single ability or item.
Yep, it was a pretty perfect execution from Into the Breach. It's chaos inside the fight, though. TA, as soon as BKB goes down, you see like the magnetize, the zombies, everything do end up bringing her down. But yeah, perfect. The toss to prevent the BKB too, super clutch. As they have to fully focus fire because they are coiled. They have to pop their BKBs early, and then these Aeon discs do work. And yeah, we see this magnetize on absolutely everybody. Tombstone going to work. It's close though. The fight does almost look like it goes in their favor. It's impressive stuff so far. Still being able to fight back when your one position, you're tiny, is just effectively out of the game so early on. It's still impressive from Into the Breach.
Boom.
He's able to live for now. Still got the Aegis. Doesn't have the Dagon in his inventory because of that Aegis. Can't quite finish off Tanner.
Oh.
Should be all right.
Tanner not quite having enough for the sharpshooter. So can't go for some crazy play.
Malik, you know, we were talking about how he was holding his gold. He's got a full AC finished off to counteract the AC on the opposing side. So it has paid off for him, at least in that front. His tiny, though, as we said. Look at Lil Pleb's net worth. He's still behind his Mars. He's unable to do much inside of these fights.
I mean, it's so much. I'm pretty much Xantic and Fishman. They're the ones making the big moves that are gonna have a chance of winning the game for Into the Breach or turning it around. Celery.
Aeon disc. They actually commit the static on him. Ooh, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, they got to get out now. Fishman, he'll die. And I mean, yeah, that's not what they need.
No,
they
and that's a
have
window
to
for
reset
Viking.
immediately. Yeah.
Viking can just now probably just push for a lane. That is the most important spell on the side of Into the Breach right now. God Strength was popped a bit early, but he can get some effective out of this, and he does have that refresher shard, as we mentioned from earlier. Tanner, trying to slow him down. But now also Kezu. He's got nags of his own coming out. Malik!
He stepped up! They're able to get in on him straight away. Malik, he's dead!
The side blades, though? Oh my goodness.
He gets the arena off. They've got the leash on Azantic, but yeah, Azantic's able to sit back, get the damage done to the puck, take down the tombstone as well. So Malik may have died, but the defense will be successful here.
Celery has to be a little bit careful. He's getting glimpsed back.
They've got the damage. Eon just still on cooldown, of course. Celery not a chance to get the trap, so they're going to keep chasing.
They have to.
They get the spear onto Kezu. What more can they get it? They've got the pushback control onto Kezu. They're going to put the God Strength on fight. Shouts at the BKB, jumps onto Azantic. Azantic taken out. Little Pleb as well. Azantic and Little Pleb immediately with the buybacks. Can they keep chasing this?
They got Fishman, though. His ult was up in 8 seconds, and he's dead for 70 now.
Kezu's going to get the jumping onto Tanner.
Tanner.
They're going to have him.
We'll get blown up.
Tanner also now with the buyback.
Kezu. He's tanky.
He's going to get speared. He's so tanky. Do they have the damage? I mean, Azantic is going to try his best, starting to beat into Kezu. Another stun comes out. They've got a big hit kick ready to come in with a sharpshooter. Woo! Aramis rolling out of range of it just in time. But they have brought Kezu down. Kezu is dead for 95, and this man doesn't have the money for buyback.
Oh, and they're fighting back hard. It did cost them one.
They are fighting back.
3 buybacks. But they know God Strength. The second God Strength was used from this fence, so they're seeing a window here.
It's 50 seconds no God Strength, 80 seconds no Centaur, and Kezu, he's been such a big part of these fights.
He spent his gold. He bought the Aghanims thinking that they can go for that high ground push. Boom. Is doing some split push action in the meantime. But they're going high ground.
Will they be able to apply enough pressure to realize that there isn't a buyback on Centaur? I don't know, because they're obviously feeling rather scared themselves.
Can they catch Boom if he plays too aggressively here? They're trying for him. Little Pleb.
They've got him.
They connect on him.
They got the toss as well, so they're going to have further disable.
They got him.
They've got the kill.
That's 99 seconds. What the? Oh my god.
He doesn't have money for buyback either.
Okay. Dude, how long a Roche? It's still got some time on the Roche, of course, but a big window here. They got a leveler now for the Tiny too. He definitely desperately needed that.
Timeless Relic.
That's a big one too. That's for Fishman. That can be huge.
Oh.
Okay.
80 seconds. I mean, again,
80
both
seconds.
of these are...
I think you force this. You try to force.
I mean, they're for financial reasons that they haven't got it. So it depends if they're going to assume that Viking didn't save the money up.
If they see them all in the base, that's when it's a tell, right? Like if they don't see anybody on the outside, yeah, I think you just try to force a little bit here onto the breach. And they did use Glyph before. That's the important thing. Viking did use it on the last push. So 4 minutes, no Glyph. Let's see what they can accomplish.
He's going for the rapier as well.
Yeah, I think in this point, he doesn't have buyback. You have to go all in. Still close. We also have Mars hitting 25 as well.
Little Pleb with the leveler.
He hits him hard.
They're going to jump Kezu. He's in. He's ready to go. Static Storm's going to get dropped down, but the BKB is already offering Shad. That's Little Pleb gone for 2 minutes. No
he didn't
buyback.
get the BKB off. Little Pleb very slow on the BKB again. Just gets caught by a hoof stomp. 110 seconds, no Tiny. Yeah, Little Pleb, he's having a rough one.
He is. A lot of deaths there on the Tiny. From sort of the stick charges to the BKB charges. Just not able to get them off this game.
Yeah, he's struggling a lot more this time.
He's got so much money. I think he's got to start getting a curry out, start selling. I guess you're going to sell, the Dragon Lance? Or maybe, should you just sell the treads? Because you actually
kind of like
that
a turret.
range?
I think he kind of is like a turret. He might just have to sell treads.
Sell treads, get rapier.
He's got the side blade range, of course, too, for the base defense, so it's quite strong.
And a minute without Little Pleb. We'll see how they're able to deal with this. It's just the 4 of them.
Oh, they actually give... Okay, the Tanner's got that Timeless Relic, actually, for now. It's nice. Of course, on the hoodwink, the damage that will come out with the boomerang
with
plus
the
the snipe.
amping.
And the stun, how much longer it does last for. Instead of 2.4, it'll be like 3 seconds if he does land a good bushwhack.
That's true.
Also, it affects the decoy as well, too. So if he sends a decoy in it, instead of it being a crappy 1 second stun, it's a 1.25 second stun, which is still pretty crappy, but better than nothing.
I like it. And he does do some serious spell damage with that ult, yeah.
He does. That's fine. Who's got the
And
buyback?
30 seconds only left to live through here.
Malik hasn't spent his gold. He's got no buyback, and he's got Vlad's queued up. Spend the gold. Come on, Mars. You got the gold for that Vlad's. Anything you can do to buff up your TA, you need to.
I mean, he might be trying to get Shivas. He might be thinking bigger than the Vlad's, but
I think the Vlad's
he
is
can.
better, honestly, especially
Okay.
for his teammates. He's got the gold for it, but they'll be able to hold them off from the base push. Tiny is respawning. Viking being a little more hesitant for now, but they
Oh,
find Fishman.
He's got to get back.
Still alive.
Look at the hit onto Aramis, but Aramis will live for now with the Aeon Disc.
They do force the
Glimpse
Aeon,
back
though.
onto him, though. Aramis still able to roll out in time. Static Storm a little slow.
Fishman. He's got to save that for the Sven. It's so important.
You don't think you can go for these little grabs on the support?
At least go for a core. Like using the Static Storm is so crucial for the ability.
Is it not a little pleb?
Splintered.
They are going to be able to break the combo here with the Glimmer, but he didn't get the BKB off yet.
He did not.
Lil Pleb, now he's able to pop it, trying to get away from Shad, but Shad is just in on him. Lil Pleb's dead again. Gone for 90. Little Pleb out of the game. As they'll push on, the mid-Rex will be taken here by Viking. Still
Chad.
trying to have a poke at Shad. At Xantic
going
getting in
for it.
position. And Xantic is going to try and turn over towards Aramis, though. Xantic, his BKB's on cooldown. They've got to get this TA out of there. As Xantic, he's getting jumped, he's getting burst, and Xantic's gone. 3 dead, no buybacks. GG is called. As Viking will finally be able to close this one up. As into the breach, they try their best to bring some fights here whilst behind. But at the end of it all, it was Viking's turn to sort of just